All right, hello, welcome back. Another week. We finally closed above negative 20% this week. We've been 7 weeks in this range. It sounds quite pessimistic. However, we are still overall outperforming SPY by 18%. So that was a year and a half ago since I started. So that's pretty good, but it's been quite a big drawdown, which is not great. And it seems like I already said this a long time, but it's just been kind of going back up and then back down, up, down, up, down. So it hasn't been a clear move. However, eventually the stabilization has to fall off, or it doesn't have to, but it has to very likely fall off. And that's what we've seen. Every single time this rallies, it falls back down. Every single time, without fail. And so it's just a matter of time, and eventually it's going to happen. And I also fixed the audio. I think it should be better. The last two videos were with the phone. The last video, I thought I used the mic, but then there was some issue with like a clicking sound. No, I think it's working, so that's great. So let's get into it. So you can see Monday drawdown, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, because we had a shortened week, 1 day off for Christmas, and then a shortened close. So it was quite a short week. So considering all that, we still made 1% this week, so pretty good. I think the last 3 weeks have been green weeks already. And, we're starting to move back up. If we don't have these 10% jumps just randomly, we can finally start going back to 16, 12, 10, and then eventually hit 0. So that's the goal, and I think it's going to work out pretty well, but it's just going to take time. I was also thinking about closing the position on Monday. The thing is, the jump happened so quickly. It happened in like an hour, and I was pretty sure that the momentum was going to fall off, and it did fall off. So if I would have closed it then and then try to get back in, I would have actually lost out on some gains, leading us to be back to under 20. So I'm pretty happy about that. The past time I did close it, it was a more sustainable rally, even though it only lasted for 2 days. But it was more where I got out kind of because there wasn't any time to try to fall. It just went back up. So I just decided, all right, just close it off and then just wait. Because the thing with this is you can't be holding leverage because it depreciates so quickly, especially when it starts to go against you. If it goes up 10%, you can lose 20% and then has to recover double that, right? Or even more. And the original stock could go back to its original price and you could still be quite a bit in the red. And that's kind of what happened. So right now I think we depreciate around like 5 or 6% on the position, which is not that much considering it's quite volatile. So it's okay and it's fine. And we still made 1% this week. Okay, so last week we did make more. However, I'm happily in the green this week, so I'm very happy about that. That's great. And then here you have the NASDAQ. So NASDAQ is not new, not at all-time highs, but close. And, typically right now towards the end of the year, we have one shortened week, and then we have the whole week. So, I'm not really expecting much movement. Typically, probably in January, we're going to start seeing more, but, we'll see. So, we almost outperformed every day this week, just Monday, and the NASDAQ still at 1.2%. Overall it's 1% below 10, and over here you have SPY. SPY is hitting all-time highs and 1.4%. Here we have Dow Jones. So Dow Jones is lagging behind. It's quite straight up, but it's still around 7 or 1% this week. But overall, it's around 7.4%. So it's still a bit behind the others. Comparison to all, Nasdaq and SPY are very similar right now, which is interesting. And Dow's a little behind, so it's okay. Daily percent gain, so this is good. It's going back up, so that's good to see. And here you kind of have what happened. So Monday, unexpected gap up, okay, and then really just fell back down. This is probably due to no one knows, but I most likely feel like the companies that do high frequency trading are probably trading these 4 or 5 related companies and with other sectors too, and they just do some arbitrage between them or something. They try to, because they have so much money, they can really do whatever, but they try to probably start covering or whatever, and then create some momentum for people to buy back in, and then they cover more, to get out of their positions, because if they do have positions, then it makes sense for them to start covering and create some momentum. Now that only works if there's momentum and you get other people to go in so you can sell off. And that's why you have the retail crowd, so that's what they do. Otherwise less risk mode, you could probably just do some arbitrage between all the companies and probably do something between them because they move so correlated. They're all algorithmically traded, almost all of them. It's very clear if you look at it. 45% green days, 50%. So right now we're at 50. Might be up to 53 if I close it, but I'm probably just going to hold this one. Gains decreased a little. Losses also decreased a bit. Standard deviation also actually basically stayed the same. And if we look at the ratios overall from last week, our difference did decrease and our standard deviation got slightly bigger. However, we still gained 1%, so that's the main point. So it's okay, and we're still green on the difference. Transactions is decreasing. Day trade we haven't done in a while, probably in like the last 2 months. And the beta is going down 0.05 this week. The goal is to get this to 0 whenever the year ends, so it looks like it's on a good path. And what I'd like to see is now it's being more uncorrelated from the past. It's losing, on days where the market is typically based like 0. These things are down maybe 5-6%. Now they could also be up 5-6%, but typically they've been more red a lot more often and have not been following the market as closely as they were before. So I'm happy to see that, and that's what I want to see, and that's probably going to be decreasing my beta quite a bit, so that's what I want to get to. So that's good. Alpha doesn't matter right now, and so here negative 19.37, close to negative 18. And really, if there's not another out of the blue green day, then we're probably going to be fine, and it's just going to be a move back up. We could always stay in this pattern, but it's been a long time. I feel like we're finally due to start moving back up, but we'll see. I think anything else that you mentioned? Not really. New year, so next week is going to be the first video in 2026, and that's going to be quite big. Birthday coming up soon, and hopefully for my birthday we're up a bit, but we'll have to see. Anyways, see you next week.